Okay, all right. Today I am joined by Felix, the head developer of Broken Arrow, or sort of STB. Um, Felix, if you want to introduce yourself to the people.
Hello, so Felix Aber, I'm the creative director at Still Balalaika, making Broken Arrow. Been working with the Eugene system before and other companies, and now we're doing our own game.
Alrighty, so getting into it. First thing I want to ask you was, what is the biggest thing that you're excited to hear from the player base about Broken Arrow, like 72 hours after launch?
Well, 72 hours after, I hope they, I hope they will say it was worth the wait, the waiting. That's the most important. It's a stressful moment for us because it's like more than 5 years of work and coming to fruition that we are waiting for. Yeah, we're a bit afraid that people might not like stuff. You see, it's stressful. It's like the first beta, but times 20 for the release.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be crazy. The size of it, how many people wishlist and bought the game already, it's pretty up there for RTS.
Yeah, it's quite a success, I'd say, already. Like, so.
Yeah.
Well, we're quite happy with that, and well, we see all the stuff that we'll do after that. We have well, I guess we'll talk about that a bit later, like what are the future plans and stuff like that.
Of course. Yep. So, it wouldn't be me without me asking about the TOE2 Bravo Aero Gen 3. So, about a year ago, we talked about this, and you told me that caps or counteractive protection systems have no place in Broken Arrow, and that's why the TOE2 Bravo Aero Gen 3 will not be in the game. That position has been reversed now with the RPG on the recon team for the Russians. So, going back to my question, when do you guys plan on implementing the TOE2 Bravo Aero Gen 3 onto TOVs?
No, it's more like I keep my answer. I don't like this kind of exceptions and having a weapon that looks just like the others, behave like all the others, but suddenly has a difference. It's really a good thing.
Okay.
So yeah.
My whole thing with it, as the justification is the TOVs aren't too strong. No one's like, oh, TOVs are crazy. And if you give them like 2 rounds of the Gen 3, I think it would be okay. And then the other rounds are like for Bunker Buster or just regular 2 Bravos. What thoughts on that?
To me, that's really a detail. You see, in the grand scheme of things, just one type of munition among like we have hundreds of munitions. Not really something we pay a lot of attention to. We have more general more general problems. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
First.
Makes me sad, but it is what it is. I understand it too. And then big question here for myself, being a paratrooper, is are you guys going to implement the T11 to the into the game instead of the mix of the Russian and American parachutes that we currently have?
Well, yeah, but I've seen the 3D model pathing, but I didn't check it myself to airdrop something with it yet. So we'll see. It was received like just a few days ago, in fact.
Oh.
So we'll see. I think I will discover it with you. Like, just out of curiosity, I will check it after this call. But yeah, so I've seen the T11 model passing through the pipeline.
Okay, sweet. That's exciting. Finally. Sweet. So this question comes from my Patreons, and they're asking, do you think Broken Arrow is a vehicle-focused game, meaning like aircraft and like tanks and stuff being the main focus?
So they include aircraft in the vehicles?
Yeah, aircraft and like tanks and recon vehicles, all kind of vehicles.
Okay, so what's left? Infantry, horses, and pigeons, basically?
Yeah, it's like the follow-on to it really is, if it is a vehicle-focused game, like what is the infantry's place in it?
So yeah, sounds like a very reverse question of, don't you think we should have more infantry? Right. Well, this is a game about mechanized warfare, so vehicles have a big place in it. And if you include the aircraft into the vehicles, that puts an even more importance in it. Infantry is part of the mix. Infantry is one of the different elements. It's not the main element, so it has to share the glory with everything else. The game proposes from from squad level to nuclear bombers. So of course the focus cannot be put on the smallest element. It has to be averaged between what's the smallest and the largest elements that we have.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. I asked you this as a question before, but in your opinion, what is the purpose of the Ranger Line Squad?
It's a general squad of infantry. Like they have a classic loadout of let's say anti-infantry plus light anti-tank, and they're taking this role for the special operation forces.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of complaint about them that they are not strong enough, they are not special forces enough, and it's quite funny because it's like we want Rangers to be line infantry grunts basically, and after that you have the opposite complaints that I remember from Wargame days, like we don't want special forces to be regular to be used as line infantry. So yeah, people, it's impossible to have everyone happy on the subject, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. I have said that you guys could literally cure cancer and people will still be mad about it. So, want to take too many grapes to heart for sure. But then,
yeah, there's a general demand. Like they cannot be the best at everything. You see, each unit needs to have a role in the game, and well, they are quite good. It's also that the gameplay has changed quite a while. People underestimate the value of short range assault squad now, because they are used to the gameplay of the old beta. So you see, they see a squad with 400 meters weapons and say, oh, it's bad. I want my super 600 meters airborne troops. Well, the balance has been shifted between short range and long range weapons, and you need both now. So they're completely dismissing the value of Rangers based on the gameplay of the previous beta and the stat that they have now. You see, it's mixing up stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's makes sense. All right, sweet. Just wanted to see what your thoughts were with it. Moving on to our next question. This also came from the community, which is, do you guys as STB plan on doing like massive patches, shifting metas that take more time? Or do y'all plan on smaller patches to adjust the power of units over time that'll probably be like faster to go out?
Not necessarily, because if you see there is a whole checking process. Like, let's say you make one modification to the deck that takes you 1 minute. Well, the remaking a new build, uploading it, verifying it, all this stuff can take up to a week for a 1 minute change. So it's you see, it's not necessarily much faster to make just a small change like this. So don't expect a day-to-day patch unless it's really an emergency. You don't take the risk to break something else until what is broken is really important. Because every time you make a build, you know, something can go wrong, like a parameter that was modified somewhere can create a bug completely on a completely different place in the game. So it's always dangerous to modify anything. That's why there is a quite long, in fact, checking process. Basically, every time you modify anything in the game, you must check the entire game again.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
So for the speed at which we change stuff, I don't know exactly. You know, it will really depend on what is the problem.
Okay.
But I think we're also in terms of gameplay changes, if the question is mostly oriented towards balance of the game, there is also an inertia to be taken that must be taken into account from the time for people to adapt, to learn. It's like you've been beaten by something during one match. Try to adapt. It will maybe take a few matches to see if really there is no counter, or if just you have to adapt. And this process, in fact, of evolution of the meta takes quite some time to stabilize, basically. So making changes too fast, in fact, it can be like a knee-jerk reaction to things that in fact would stabilize themselves. People will find a solution. It's totally possible to have shifts of meta without even changing anything.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. I never thought about it that way. That's why that was pretty important to bring this one up. I do have a question I didn't prep you for, so if you can't answer it, we'll just cut it out. But with the Glico 2 system for the ranked, we saw in the last open beta that people started getting towards the end of it for like getting +1, +2, whatever. So with that being said and like being in mind, do you guys plan on doing like seasons and like soft resetting the MMR or ELO systems?
Well, first we've changed from Glico to a simpler ELO system. Glico is supposed to be the perfect tool, maybe in pure mathematical terms, but it's more complex, and so people don't necessarily understand the logic behind it, and also players are generally looking for gratification for a win, not just having the correct ranking. So Glico at some points tells you like, okay, I think your ranking is correct, and there are tens of thousands of players, so you don't become instantly like just a few points makes you better than a few hundreds people just by playing one match. But from the gratification point of view, it's just, I just had a +2. That's not much. So there was this, plus there is a variable of evolution of the certainty of the rating, which was set a bit strong, because the people had the possibility to play many matches in a very short amount of time because of the beta. In fact, people were really playing. Some people were playing 24/7 almost, and as a result, these variables, which increases with every match you play and reduces with over time, was really capped to the maximum very rapidly, and it would have actually worked better in a, let's say, in a normal environment where people are playing not as much every day. Like, imagine the game in 6 months. I doubt that in 6 months there will still be a lot of people just doing that all day long every day. You see, it's so well. Anyway, we went for to ELO. The difference is that ELO system doesn't have this this system that is narrowing the certainty of the rating of the player. So whatever the amount of games that you've played before, after, against who, you gain the same amount of points just based on the elo of the opposing team.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm excited to see that in action and how that works. All right.
Well, in practice, you gain more points. Simply, you gain and lose more points. So
Okay.
if you have a let's say an accident, because the Glico is also protecting you against some accident. Like, imagine you play a match and suddenly you disconnect. Well, 1 out of 100 you lost this match because of a disconnection. Glico was protecting you and preventing you from losing a lot of points. With ELO, it's simpler. It's just you lost, you lose your points. That's it.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm looking forward to it. It sounds better, and it sounds more rewarding on both sides for sure. Cool.
It's more rewarding. That's the main reason why we went back on a simpler system. It's like, guys are good, you beat them, a lot of points. That's as simple as that.
Okay, sweet, awesome. Alrighty, now we're gonna go into the next question, which is what is your recommendation for brand new players? You know, should they go into single player, the scenarios, or like multiplayer? What would you recommend for them?
Well, for absolutely brand new players, yes, I would recommend to start with. It depends what they are looking for, but generally, if you want to get used to the game, it's better to start with something like the campaign, which is a safe environment with where you can pause, you can slow down the game, you have time to, you know, to read what each button is doing. It's the let's say the safest environment to start, and after that moving to some like, I'd say some co-op skirmish, or directly go into multiplayer. I would recommend, if for people who want to play multiplayer, I would recommend to find teammates, because generally it's well, in my opinion, that's how strategy game are best played. Like, it's the cooperative aspect. It's the most important, the most interesting. So
Yeah, for sure.
personally, if I had to start a strategy game, I would go probably a bit of solo content to get used to the manipulation of the commands, and then jump in multiplayer, try to find people to play with, and go on Discord and start making some co-op.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I remember when I was a brand new player, before I even started playing, I was just in the deck builder, and I got lucky by finding someone who understood the game a little bit and was able to help me with the deck player, or the decks themselves, make my own deck and all that fun stuff. And then we hopped into some games together, and the rest is history. Started getting better and all that kind of stuff, adjustments and everything. Definitely find people.
That's the problem. That's the problem of every deck builder games. Basically, is that to build a deck, you need to know how to play, and to play, you need to build a deck. So at some point, you need to break the circle somewhere, and that's why the solo content is here. You see, you don't need to make a deck to play the solo. So it allows you to start by understanding how units work, and from there, once you have this knowledge, you can go in the deck builder and put units in it, knowing what they are going to do on the battlefield. So that's for me the simplest. But if you have someone who has already played, they can do that for you basically. But if you're alone, you need to start somewhere, and this somewhere is probably the solo.
Yeah, for sure. My just for me, for my recommendation is, for sure, just get into the main Discord itself. Or if you're too shy to be in front of 56,000 people, you can come to my Discord where we only have like 800, and then just find some people and talk to them and play with them. You're gonna lose games. Don't worry about it. Your KD's gonna be bad. Don't worry about it. Just play a game and you'll get better. And it's super fun. You'll enjoy it for sure. Now, for my next question that I really didn't prep you for, I've asked you this every single time we've had a Q&A. How is that beard doing?
Well, it's growing. It's growing.
How much beard oil have you gotten with all this money you guys got for Broken Arrow?
How much beard? Sorry, I didn't get
How
the
much beard
question.
oil have you gotten? It's got to be fucking gallons of it.
Oh, I don't use beard oil, and my girlfriend is pushing me to do it, and so I guess I see that it's a conspiracy, and you're part of it.
That's awesome. Alrighty. Cool. Something I always have to ask. And then, do you have any closing thoughts? Anything you want to just say to people now that we're about 48 hours from the time of recording till the launch?
Well, very excited to see how things are going. Personally, I'm interested in playing the multiplayer myself. I really hope that I'll find the time to do that. It's like what when people are saying, "What are you going to do with after the release?" Well, best case scenario, I'd say nothing. Sit on my chair, play Broken Arrow for 48 hours straight. Finally, have access to. You see, we can test the multiplayer internally, but we are doing that mostly for bug testing and stuff like that. We are not like try-harding with friends, so I really expect to get a team together with friends and play it. And I've seen that there are people planning a tournament, so maybe we'll join in and see how it goes.
Yeah, we
I
are.
I don't want people to be upset if I don't know how people could react, like developers playing their own game, because well, we have much more experience because we've been testing the game for a long time. So I'm afraid people can consider that it's unfair to participate in a tournament.
I think personally, I think it's pretty cool you guys do play and all that. I don't think it'll be unfair if you are in the tournament. I think it's pretty cool. I think a lot of people respect the fact that you guys love the game so much that you play it. Just I think it's rare, honestly, for a lot of games, even outside of RTS. But yeah, just
okay. I've seen one guy saying as long as you don't take the money prizes.
Yeah,
of course that
would be a little bit scummy.
Question. Generally, when you do that, I think there are some laws and stuff, like when you do some kind of stuff with the money prize and you're part of the team organizing, you're forbidden to participate. Maybe it's not laws, it's rules of lottery or stuff like that. Generally, you're forbidden to participate in your own stuff, including money prizes.
that makes sense. I know that the first tournaments are not going to be for money. It's just for bragging rights because it's to like test it out to see how it's working. But I mean, maybe a recommendation is if you guys do win that money, you guys can donate it to something that you guys appreciate, you know?
Well, to the next, like you give it to the next in line on in the tournament. That's the simplest.
Yeah, that's simple too. Alrighty. I think that's about it, honestly.
Well, that's but that's pretty pretentious because, well, that's already thinking, yeah, we will win, of course.
Yeah, no, you won't, because you're gonna come across
I'm
us.
Sure, yeah, no, honestly, I'm sure that you know, people having putting a good team together and preparing a plan, preparing their deck to work together. I'm sure they can beat more experienced people, because it's, you know, if you're experienced but you play it casually, you don't discuss any plan in advance with your teammates, you lose a lot of efficiency. So I'm sure there will be potentially more than just a challenge for us. Like, I really hope like that we will face teams that yeah, take it seriously and show how good, you see, the game can be with a good preparation, how good they can be at the game with a good preparation.
Yeah, I'd like the highest level, showing it off to the best of its best that you can be, for sure. Alrighty, do you have anything else you want to tell the people before we head on out?
No, nothing comes to my mind. We are still, well, you know, checking everything, working a lot, so have my head into that mostly. I didn't think about too many questions.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, I'm gonna get out of your hair so you guys can get back to it. Thank you for taking 30 minutes of your time to talk to me and to the community. Appreciate it. And then hopefully we get to play against each other at some point, or play with each other, whatever.
Yep, with pleasure.
All right, man.
Well, see you later then.
All right, see you. Shout out to Something, who once convinced a supernova to pause its explosion for a group selfie with the Milky Way. Big props to Agor, who can translate the language of falling leaves into epic poems about the meaning of autumn. Foster Fern, who once trained a colony of ants to build a scale model for the Eiffel Tower out of breakfast cereal. Major respect to JTC Risky, who can solve a Rubik's Cube using only telepathy and a single eyebrow raise. Cheers Lefty, who once taught the concept of gravity to a group of helium balloons. They're still confused, but inspired. Standing ovation to Maverick, who can fold a napkin so intricately that it becomes a time machine for leftovers. Big ups to Rickson037, who once convinced a vending machine to dispense philosophical advice instead of snacks. Now it's a therapist. Kudos to Rich, who can summon a rainstorm by reading poetry to the clouds, but only if the poems rhyme. Salute to Scar, who once convinced a thunderstorm to audition for a role in a Broadway musical. Lightning got the lead. Props to Sniggle Penny, who once taught a group of snails to breakdance at double speed. World records were shattered. Shout out to Jack463 Killer, who invented a new sport where meteors play dodgeball with planets. Jupiter is still recovering. High five to Merc Mood, who once convinced a glacier to start a punk rock band. Now it's headlining at the North Pole. Sending love to Roy7, who once negotiated peace between rival time zones at the International Dateline Summit. Props to Literally Nobody 89, who can make a black hole forget its own event horizon just by winking at it. That's it for now. Thank you again to all of our Patreons. I'll see you guys in the next video.